X would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Give a type of money that can only be spent for a specific number of reasons. And some worry about that state control or whatever, but like in this particular narrow use case, you want to give checks to individuals to get the economy moving again.
Yeah.
So if you think of programmable money that expires if you don't spend it.
Well, what's really interesting is that there seems to be privacy is the word of the moment, right? The objective, the driver behind the whole project is actually privacy, or at least protection of data. And what the founders of the project are saying is this is a way that we have found to move the conversation on how we secure access and how we ensure that people accessing their online personas in whatever form that takes are the real people, and they're not AI, they're not bots. But it's that very same sword, which turned out to be double-edged, which gives rise to the concern about data on the other side of things, namely the potential for losses or hacks or breaches or whatever it is. So it's the age-old discussion of how to provide secure access to your systems without creating an incentive for or a system where data can be lost. So it's a really interesting move forward in the discussion, and I don't think it's as straightforward as saying, oh, they're collecting loads of personal data, this must be scary. The question is always, what are they collecting and why are they collecting it? How are they processing it? And how are they protecting, right? I mean, the fact is, people are pushing the boundaries of what we can do and how we can really protect users. And that's ultimately what it's all about. We at Bitrue Global are incredibly proud of our record of protecting our users' data. The founders of Bitrue are security engineers. That's what they do. That's their background. There's kind of why they set up Bitrue in the very first place was they looked at the solutions that were out there and realized that they kind of sucked from a security perspective, so they created their own. That was a decade ago, nearly a decade ago. The conversation has moved on a lot since then, and initiatives like this can be seen as part of that wider dialogue. So I think that there's some really interesting discussions to be had. Is this the solution? Is it something that's coming around the corner? I don't know. I wish I did know. But I think having that conversation is incredibly useful and really gets the whole industry thinking about that key issue of security. A whole bunch of initiatives, and I'm really excited to see what those look like, because that's when technology is at its best. To think that we've solved all of these issues some time ago would be naive. Like, unfortunately, it's the case that bad actors continue innovating, so that means that we, good actors, have to continue to innovate too. Exactly what form that will take, well, that's a discussion that will be developed over the coming weeks, months, and frankly, years. But it's not a stationary target. You've always got to be weighing up those competing concerns of protection of data and protection of accounts. And the fact is, the more data you collect in order to protect accounts, the bigger a target you place on that for bad actors and hackers and all the rest of it. So, this is a dynamic discussion, but one that I think is going to be absolutely critical to the sector going.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we know blockchain gives the NWO the all seeing eye. Privacy is out the window, and that's the reason why it's so important to understand the technology. We know why Worldcoin wants to scan the eye for biometrics for the next step going forward inside the Metaverse. And guys, we're definitely in trouble. Now Amazon wants to be your hospital. And guys, I told you in my book that these big corporations are going to be your government. And platforms like Facebook, Meta, Instagram, Twitter, X, it will be a one-stop shop. And we have places like Walmart, Netflix, Amazon, Meta, Hulu, Twitter, X. Not only will control advertising, but remember guys, they're going to be selling the products. So now, only thing you have to do if you're watching a Netflix movie, you click it, it's going to be sent right to your home. So it's no more, oh, I want to go get that from the store. No, you'll be able to get it right then and there. And those of us who know how powerful that is, and we know the sheep are impulse buyers. And with the NWO, with the all seeing eye, they're going to know you better than you know yourself. So they're going to advertise exactly what you want. And that's going to make it so easy for you to click. And remember, guys, the sheep are going to be getting that UBI airdrop to them. So they'll have that free money to buy whatever they want for a little while. That illusion to get them inside the metaverse. And then they won't be able to buy or sell without the mark. Telling them what, where, and when and how to buy, and they have 3 to 6 months to spend it, or poof, it's gone. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
8 months now since Amazon launched its Amazon Clinic with services in about 2/3 of the country. Well, now, as of today, the telehealth service is available nationwide after meeting state regulatory requirements in places like New York. They're also expanding the range of health issues that they will treat, driven, they say, by consumer demand. But while patients can get weight loss drugs like Ozempic on Amazon Pharmacy, Amazon Clinic chief Nora Yogu says the clinic side is not ready to offer that kind of individualized health coaching and support that should go along with those weight treatments.
It's a space that I think, we want to make sure that we understand a bit better before moving forward in, because I do think there's a lot of complexity there and a lot of kind of decision making around what's the kind of optimal path to help someone with their weight journey.
It's definitely a hot area these days, though. Teladoc last week said they're moving into the space for 2024, leveraging its Livongo health coaching. Weight Watchers, of course, but weight loss telehealth service Sequence, while like Amazon, Hims and Hers is taking a slow approach. And they're definitely all being a little bit really strategic about how they go after this kind of service.
Walmart has, between online and its stores, a huge audience, captive audience to advertise to. What are they doing?
Yes, so Tyler, they are ramping up their advertising business, and that'll change the way that shoppers notice things in stores. Think of places like self-checkout screens or even the overhead radio that plays in Walmart will have 30-second spots that advertisers can buy, and things that are also pretty popular with customers, typically sampling stations. That will be more prominent, and Walmart's trying to incorporate more QR codes that allow people to pick up more information about that product, like a bag of chips or a beverage.
Are they going to have video screens also in their stores?
Yes.
Advertising? In other words, they are having their customer, their clients, their merchandise sellers, they're charging them to advertise in their stores, right?
Exactly. And it's not exactly new, because if you think about it, every end of the aisle has always been an advertising opportunity. Mm-hmm. But now they're really trying to bring that into the more digital age with a lot of TV screens, and it's just a little bit more high tech now. So it'll even be like a little bit of information about a pet product that's right next to a pet food. So I got a behind-the-scenes look of this in Bentonville, near their headquarters, and they're planning to roll this out to more stores nationwide.
When it comes to the value of driving shopping, that's all about making their ads more valuable. If you can get people to click to buy, then if you have an ad that says, here, check out this new couch, you can click and buy it right now. That's going to make that ad for whatever the product is more valuable.
How much, Melissa, if Walmart pushes further into this realm. I mean, I don't typically think of them as an advertising-driven company like a Pinterest, but as they're starting to ramp that up, as Amazon has clearly pushed into this space, I mean, how much do traditional stores look to vie for advertising dollars from the likes of a Pinterest or a different kind of social media platform?
Retailers, including Walmart, are really in the early phases of this journey, partially because what they see with Pinterest and companies like Meta, because they know it's a higher margin business, and that's where they want to be. It's a lot more lucrative to sell an ad than to sell milk and eggs. And so Walmart is making a concerted push here, so is Kroger, so is Target, and this is part of an effort to kind of take some of the playbook of those tech companies and get into it. A lot of their sales do happen in stores, so that's why they're branching to that, but they're also selling a lot more digital ads, so it's really cutting across both spectrums. Worth noting that Walmart has a huge audience, as Tyler mentioned at the beginning. They draw about 139 million customers to Walmart every week. If you think about that, wow, that's larger than the most recent Super Bowl in terms of viewership.
Every week.
And it's really important to know that Amazon has really been leading the charge here. We have Google and and Meta, which are the two leaders in digital advertising. But Amazon is growing really quickly in this area and is really becoming a major third force in the digital ad market and really demonstrating to other retailers, hey, maybe you should be getting into this business too.
It's not great as a user experience, though. I'm getting Googled now on Amazon, where if I want to actually find what like the best product is, I have to sponsored by. Oh, okay, all the way down here at the end of the page, item number 13 is maybe the item I'm looking for.
They're listening to what I say. Alexa's listening. Let me ask you how relevant. It often used to be that when you were heading into an election year, you were heading into an Olympic year, that the advertising business benefited. Does that still, Julia, hold as true as it used to?
Well, for the business of TV advertising, it's definitely true. Because for the Olympics and anything involving the Olympics, which is, of course, on our sister network, there is a drive of viewership towards that big event. The fact that that viewing is live is incredibly valuable. You can reach people in real time. When it comes to platforms like Pinterest, what they benefit from is consumer trends. If people are going onto Pinterest to say during the pandemic to outfit their kitchens, to buy new furniture, to figure out a home office, then they're going to benefit from that. So that's about different consumer trends. The question is right now, because consumers are spending a lot of money on travel, Pinterest is trying to say, plan your trips on Pinterest, and then we'll drive you relevant ads around that. The fact that people are spending less perhaps on retail and more on experiences like concert tickets and travel, that might not benefit Pinterest as much. So the fact that Pinterest is really about retail purchasing things, that might give us a little bit of insight into where consumers are spending right now.
It suggests the pandemic was Pinterest's Super Bowl. And meanwhile, Walmart gets a Super Bowl every week with 139 million people. So that does feel, as long as I guess they don't alienate people with this experience, and you saw it, so maybe you can describe how invasive it is, that's a natural place to put those eyeballs.
It will be a delicate balance, and this is something that other retailers are struggling with as well. Walgreens actually is facing a lawsuit from a company that has turned its cooler aisles into digital screens. The new Walgreens CEO came in. She allegedly did not like the appearance of it and then ended that contract. There's a dispute over why that contract was ended, but again, it kind of illustrates the tension here about the consumer experience and selling ads, which again, very lucrative.
Yeah. Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.